Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the game plan going into tomorrow. So today, obviously, was just a straight ripper, and I forgot to go over it in yesterday's video, so I'm going to go over it right now on why I was bullish and why I said the dip was going to get bought up. So if we just flip here real quick to the July 18th contracts that I have pulled up, this really gauges the higher time frame trend because this is a daily chart and it's further out contracts. So this gives you pretty much a bigger picture, and you can see, look where we bottomed out at. I told you, if this came down on the 50, this is most likely going to get bought. So that's why I did favor any dip off of the war news to get bought up, because we did have this super high time frame 50 SMA. Daily charts crossed, closed by the 10 SMA. I mean, this chart's really bullish. Obviously, with news headlines coming out and things like that, that could obviously change depending on if there was, bad news that came out. But, just off of this chart, very bullish. So that was the reason behind why I was bullish the last couple of days and why I favored the dip getting bought. So now if we go into today, this is what we look like off of open. So it was pretty much just watching to see if the 30-minute chart on the calls were going to cross today. Obviously, put side doesn't tell you anything, and then flip to the calls and look what we got today. 30-minute crossed, and this just trended up all day. Why? Because the 30-minute finally crossed bullish, and this tells us that the bulls had the trend, and we want to be focused on the long side. So you can just see right off open, end up getting this cross. 10 went above the 50, 50's crawling up, and it just rode up the entire day. When we look at the higher time frames here, you can see every other time frame was pretty much crossing. 2 hours going to cross up there. 4 hour, I know we're sitting right around this 4 hour 50. Hasn't crossed yet. I don't think there's a daily 50 SMA on here either. So yeah, if we go to the 0-day chart now, I actually didn't take any trades on SPY today, and I'll go over why. So obviously right off of open, we have this not even a cross really, because it's already crossed. So pretty much what I was looking for was just a dip to the 50. We never got the dip to the 50, and it just ended up trending up the entire day. You could have played this reclaim right here. So once we got this reclaim, it reclaimed like right here. Probably wouldn't have entered it until this 10 SMA ended up turning up a little bit. So probably would have entered on this candle right here, just because it's better to see that 10 SMA curl up than being sloped down. So that would be your entry if you just played the reclaim. It did come pretty close to the 50. In hindsight, I guess, it really didn't get that close to the 50. I thought I got closer than that, but I was just looking for the dip to the 50 to buy. We never got it, so there was no trade. I mean, it's pretty simple. When you have a strict set of rules and you know what to look for, all you have to do is wait for that to happen and just execute. I mean, we didn't get the dip to the 50, so I never bought it. I didn't play any 10 reclaims. I was just focused on one trade and one trade only. That was a dip to the 50, which we never got. So I didn't take any trades on SPY. I mean, I went over this yesterday. I told you guys, don't have to give every trade a go. Like these reclaims, yeah, you could take them, but that's not what I'm looking for. I know what my best possible setup is, and that's just dip to the 50. I went over it in yesterday's video, like I just said. I've been being very selective with the trades with how the market's been moving. So if we don't get the setup I'm looking for, I'm not going to take any trades. Recently, this is probably the time where I've taken the least amount of trades the last couple weeks, just because of how the market's been moving. And I'm just being patient. That's like the name of the game. If you're not patient, you are not going to do well. And if we don't get the setup that I'm looking for, I'm not going to take it. It's pretty simple. So that was pretty much how you would have played today. Really, the only trade opportunity was really this 10 SMA reclaim. I mean, you could have tried these other ones, but they didn't really net anything good. If we look here, where we reclaim the 10 right here, and then we got a little move up, nothing too crazy. And then if you were just trailing the 10, you would have probably stopped out on one of these candles right here in profit. But yeah, I mean, nothing too crazy of a day. Obviously, this type of move off of open, like, I'm not going to chase this. I'm not buying this. So wait for the dip to the 50, which we never got, and just gotta move on to the next day. So going into tomorrow, what do we look like? If we go to the 30-minute, we know what the trend's like. We know we're bullish. I mean, we go to the call side, what do we look like? 10's above the 50, and we're bullish. So I'm only focused on the long side as long as this chart remains crossed. If we break below the 50 and go negative, then I would be leaning more to the downside. But tomorrow, look for a 50 dip on calls. If for some reason we just dropped so much more, then we went negative, obviously a put cross would be on the table. But for now, with how we look, call side will be the focus. 0-day cross on calls. A lot of people get confused when I say 0-day. It's just easier to say, but 0 DT cross on calls, and then 50 dip on calls. That's gonna be like the two main setups to look for. If for some reason the puts cross, let's say, and we come down this 50 SMA, puts are crossing on the 0 DT chart, then just wait for the 0 DT chart to go negative to go long, because that pretty much confirms that we're gonna bounce off the 50. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how you're gonna go into playing tomorrow. You know, one of those 3 setups. If we get one of them, I'm going to take it. It's you know, it's very cut and dry. It's very simple on how to trade these charts. I mean, we're just playing crosses. Like every day, I know what I'm looking for the best setup possible depending on the market. So, you know, we know we're trending, so we know the best setup is a 0 DT cross on calls or a 50 dip on calls. I mean, that's the great thing about the system. It's very easy to know what to look for, and you have to know what to look for with the system. I mean, you know, every day you should, if you're new to the trading system, write down what's the key setup today, like what's the best setup you're looking for. And for tomorrow, it's that 0 DT cross on calls. Will probably already be crossed at open though, unless there's some sort of gap down, but 50 dip on calls is what I'm gonna be looking for. Again, I don't trade like the first 15 to 30 minutes of the market. I like price to settle and then go from there. Like after 10 o'clock is where I'm gonna be looking for these types of setups. If one occurs before that, I really wouldn't consider it like a high probability type of trade, because it's more volatile off open. I like waiting after that first like 15, usually it's like 20-30 minutes, but you know, it just depends on what we look like. So that's the game plan going into tomorrow. That's what we did today. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. It's where all the trades are shared, all the knowledge on the system in there. I really haven't been learning many trades recently just because of how the market's been moving. I'm being very, like I said, selective with the trades I'm taking. So yeah, I'm not just gonna throw trades out there to throw trades out there. If it's not something that, you know, I'm liking, I'm not gonna drop a trade. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.